Hey guys, I'm back with a new move in the game that I posted about earlier. So I want to take a look at that and talk about the move I'm going to make and see how it goes. So let's see what my opponent did. All right, so he moved his queen out of the way, which was a defensive move, which I thought was probably, which I was expecting, and I talked about in my last video. So here, I think what I can do is I can just simply take his bishop. If I go into the Explorer mode, if I take his bishop, I'm threatening a discovered, basically a discovered pin here. So I don't know what he could do. I mean, because if he moves away, if he does, he wouldn't do that. But if he does something like that, I've got a discovered check. Do that. Let's see. From this point, after I take here, what would make most sense for him to do? I mean, because if he did that to take my bishop back, that's just asking for disaster. Because then now I've checked him, and I'm also threatening his queen. So moving his queen away is not a good idea. So let's say he makes a weighty move. Maybe he decides he's going to, after I take his bishop, maybe he decides he's going to double up and attack my bishop or my rook twice. At this point, I could do something like this, check. He could, no, he wouldn't be able to take. He would have to move, and then I would be able to capture his queen. So that looks promising if he decides to threaten me, which, knowing the history I have with this player, him deciding to threaten my rook is a real possibility. I feel like this is something that changes in the higher levels, because here in the lower levels, you can use the psychology of bad plays to your advantage. If you know that your opponent isn't a particularly strong player, or that he's not particularly strong in certain areas, you can use that knowledge to kind of predict where they're going to go and take advantage of it. I don't know that he would do that, so I'm just trying to think. So if I take his bishop, he doesn't have a lot, honestly. He can't attack my queen, which is nice. My queen is pretty well guarded. He can take the bishop, but if he takes the bishop, he's going to lose his queen. He could do something, let's say he just does some kind of waiting move. So let's say I take the bishop and maybe he just does this. What would I do here? Now, that's a little tricky. I mean, obviously, I guess I would just take the pawn at that point. There's not a lot else to do. So if he does some kind of waiting move, moving the pawn there, I would probably just take the pawn. I could either take the pawn. I could. Let's see. If I threaten his, no, because then he could just take, and then I am up a bishop at this point, but I'm not sure how I feel about that. He could do something like this, or actually, no, once I take the queen, he could just take me. No, yeah, that wouldn't be good at all, because, okay, so that line was here. I go like that. He does a waiting move. No. This is, I think, regardless of what he does next, I think my move here is for the bishop to take this bishop. I think that's probably the strongest move, because he can't reclaim that piece. And I think, at least for the next few turns, I'm going to be up an entire piece. So I think go ahead, we'll submit that as the move, and we'll see what he does next. All right, thank you for watching.